Came into the grand finals, grand finales here of the StarCraft Evolution League number 21. It is going to be that TvT, and spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we have the red Terran player, we have the South Korean Terran, the SC2 Terran, representing Shopify, it is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the Brood War Terran player, we have the blue Terran for Team Liquid, it is Cure. Let's go. Let us go as we're moving out with not just one, with two SCVs. Cure, he's opening up with a proxy. One, two, three. Three SCVs being sent across the map. Proxy, 3 racks out of Cure, and ByuN is opening up single gas. We'll see if he does go for a bit of a safer start into double gas into a faster factory. We'll see if ByuN goes for a more economic build or if he goes for a safer build. The thing is that we're loading into Sylphid, so the temptation to go for a greed is there, but it's also a TvT, so I'm hoping that we play it safe, but it looks like that is not the case. Here we go. The 3 racks mass marine is coming. Remember, no gas. No gas is going to be mass and pure marine out of Cure. He'll have the SCVs to tank, to soak. And we can see single gas means that racks expand. ByuN is going for an economic build. This means that the factory is late. This means that the Hellions are going to be late. And without Hellion support, it's going to be a difficult defense for ByuN. Not impossible, but difficult. ByuN is scouting for the base location. Does scout bottom left. You know what, Curie does find ByuN. Bearing in mind, Curie didn't even know where he was. True, didn't even know. Now does find him. Marines are banking up, waiting for the next wave, waiting for the next round. And it's going to be 1 Reaper to defend. Here comes Cure. And here come the boys. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. Again, it's all or nothing. Oh, he catches it. Oh, no, he does catch the Reaper, and that's game. That's going to be it. The first Reaper goes down as we were hidden in the tall grass. Pouncing on ByuN. ByuN has nothing. ByuN has 1 Marine. He's got 1 Marine. And with that, the numbers are just not in his favor. The boys are being pulled. We have 5 Marines for Cure. DPS output is here. Is going to be insane. Bunker is denied. Starter steps in. The boys are getting some of the Marines. Okay, nice worker drilling. Very nice. Does drill in. Does take down 2 Marines so far. Gets surrounded. Okay, the best fight that ByuN could hope for, but it's still not going to be enough. It still doesn't matter. There's just too many Marines. GG gets called, and Cure takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Curie does take a lead in the series. Again, ByuN went for a more economic, a greedier build. On top of that, the first Reaper got caught. The first Reaper did get caught in the center of the map. So with that, that was game. That was game. Then and there, losing that first Reaper was brutal. And with that, he could not set up back at home. Didn't have time to get his bunker up. And last had limited DPS with only a single Marine to defend. GG. GG, well played. With that, Curie takes the lead in the series. And now we're getting into game number 2. Here we go. We'll see if ByuN can recover. We'll see if he can bounce back. 1 Marine in his dream. True. I'm hoping that we get to embrace some mid-game TvT. I'm really fond of it. I mean, I miss seeing lockdowns, I'll be honest. Like, it was early. It was like last year. It was early last year, StarCraft Evolution, when we saw a lot more mid-game play. And that was back before, I want to say the Ghost was nerfed. I want to say the Brood War Ghost did take a nerf as well. But before that, we used to see a lot more mid-game play. We got to see a lot of lockdowns, a lot of Ghosts. It was some of our favorite parts of StarCraft Evolution. Then that fell by the wayside. Seeing Ghosts in TvT. But here we go. We're now loading into game 2, going to be loading into Radion. We go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Radion, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. So players opening up, and welcome to Radion as he's doing it again. Curie moves out with not just one, with two, with 3 SCVs. Same build, 2 games in a row, going for the proxy 3 racks. Now, I am scared for ByuN because we're loading into a 4-player small map, and there's a very, very high chance that ByuN is going to go, thankfully he doesn't go CC first, but there's a very high chance he goes for the same build, that he goes for a racks into expand into a later factory. Now, this time, there are steam vents though. Now, if Cure can make use of these steam vents again, and if he can catch out the Reaper, then it's going to be the same outcome. Like, we got to be careful. We got to be careful here for ByuN, but he's going greedy. He's going for a Rax Expand. SCV scout across the map, and he scouts bottom left. The Gamba Bappy, he gambles correctly. He will scout Cure faster this time. He'll have a faster realization as to the all-in. Oh, he sees! No! Cure is within range of the Zelnaga tower. Ay. And ByuN, he responds with a bunker. Fast bunker here by ByuN, staying on the high ground, going for the faster factory as well. Very unfortunate location for Cure to be within range of the Zelnaga towers. Ay, that is very unfortunate. And that shows a bit of a lack of experience with the map, which is true. Like Cure, he has very little experience when it comes to StarCraft Evolution. This will tell him actually. Yeah, he checks, now he sees. Yeah. So he's now aware that these racks were misplaced. Here come the boys. But this time ByuN has a full wall. He's got a full wall off. There's that faster factory, faster second gas. This time ByuN did not expand. He's doing everything correctly. Like, this is the best chance that ByuN has at defending. And I don't see this working here for Cure. At least it should not work. So boys, they move in. They move in. We have the mass repair here from ByuN. All he has to do is just repair. Just repair, and he's defense. And so far the bunker will not go down. SCVs are falling. You could argue that ByuN could maybe focus fire the Marines instead. There we go. Does target fire. A lot of SCVs go down though. Yeah, a lot of SCVs going down. We're down to 3 Marines, down to 2. Yeah, now reinforcing, but there's only 2 Marines left, and with that ByuN he defends. ByuN he holds. He maintains the greater economy. Hellions have now arrived. And Cure, he has nothing left. Yeah, the Hellion even bypassing the army. GG gets called, and ByuN, he ties up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. ByuN does have the series here. Again, Cure going for the same build and had potential to work, but he got scattered immediately as the Raxes were within range of the Zelnaga tower. They're within range. That was game. That was game then and there. I say Raxes, only one Rax. There was only one Rax, but it was within range of the Zelnaga tower. So ByuN, he instantly reacted, instantly threw down the bunker, the second gas, and the factory. So GG well played. With that, we have a series, we have a back and forth. And is it ByuN's turn to proxy? That's the real question. Is it ByuN's turn? Does he commit? Do we keep going? Who said the TvT was boring? I feel like the idea of TvT being, we spoke about this before, but during like SC2 cast, but TvT had a bad reputation many years ago. But TvT is typically a high octane, a high aggressive matchup, and has been the case for like the past like 4 years, 3-4 years. It's been a while. It's been a while. Like even in regular SC2. But here we go. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran. Representing Shopify, it is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the SC2 Terran player. We have the Team Liquid Terran. It is Cure. Let's go. Let us go. But yeah, TvT garnered a really bad reputation, like in Wings of Liberty, in Heart of the Swarm, and that's kind of where it stopped. So when it came to early Legacy, that's when we had the Tankovax, of course, and TvT was crazy when it came to early legacy. Then it kind of died down a little bit, but again, ever since the COVID era of StarCraft, I would say that TvT has been very intense, very high octane. Big reason for that, of course, I mean, was the change to the Raven. Raven did allow for that's, I would say, the turning point is when the Raven gained the ability to disable. Like, that did allow Terran players to start engaging a little more frequently and breaking siege lines in a much more regular fashion, and that's kind of when like the meta started to shift away from these like slower siege lines into like more aggressive builds and more aggressive tendencies. And again, that was like basically since like 2020, like around 2020 era of StarCraft. Remember 2 turtle tones? Yeah. I mean, that's one of the big reasons why disable was introduced, right? The interference matrix for the Raven, and of course Liberators as well, which is also new to Legacy. So Liberator, Ravens, like they changed TvT quite a bit. As before that, there was no easy way to break a siege line, right? Meanwhile, this time, standard opener. No proxy, no cheese. We have a Rax expand economic opener here by Cure. Meanwhile, ByuN is going for his own 3 racks, but we have cross spawns. Cure does find ByuN immediately. ByuN has yet to SCV scout, but due to this being cross spawns, I would say that this 3 rack stim timing is weaker. Could be weaker. So we have the Academy on the way, getting just him. ByuN has yet to confirm the location of his opponent. ByuN still doesn't know. Zones away the Reaper. Cure is going for a very fast third. Hyper greed. Now, we've been talking about like these slower siege lines and these slower styles. Because we're loading into Vermeer and because we are cross spawn, there's a higher chance that we do end up in a very long mid to late game. Like, there's a very high chance. We can see that Cure's already being greedy. He's being greedy, rushing to a fast third base, rushing to a greater economy, into a greater mid game. ByuN is being aggressive, that is true, but I would say that this aggression is weaker because of the spawn locations. So I don't really see ByuN doing much with this, but we'll see. We'll see if we can maybe catch Cure off guard and catch us off guard as well. We'll see if ByuN can surprise us. I'll say that this commitment into Sim is going to be setting ByuN, in a sense, behind. Just because he's building up towards a very strong timing that there's a lower chance of it getting anything done. But we'll see. Does scan, confirms no one's bottom left, and does confirm Cure's location. Does get eyes on Cure. Is making his way across. Bunker is now done. And ByuN is moving in. ByuN is moving into the bases. Does move out across the map. There is no defensive tank yet because of the faster CC. That is true. But yeah, no. I was like, he should not be able to break the bunker though. Yeah, the bunker does hold its own. Cure's fine. Cure is perfectly fine. And this is the beginning of like a late game. Like, this is the beginning here of like securing our natural, securing our third base. We do have Hyperlight Rotors on the way. There is a chance that from here, Cure plays mech. There's a very real chance we see mech out of this, so just bear that in mind. Here we have ByuN transitioning as well, going for his own factory starport. Scan reveals the tech lab, does reveal the upgrade. And yep, there it is, it's mech. So scan reveals second factory, Cure is going to mech it up. Mech is a very common transition after Hyperlight Rotor Banshee to get into battle mech, into a variation of battle mech, I should say. So we're getting into mech. And likewise, ByuN should be switching into mech as well. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we soon see a second and third factory and we see mech versus mech. Oh boy, we're leaning in that direction quite heavily. +1, oh, yep, there it is, second factory. And you can see we're using the Raxes just as overlords. Like, we're just going for the mass lift. And strap yourselves in because we're going to be here for a while. It is a cross-spawn mech versus mech on Vermeer. It's let's go, baby, let's go. The axes, they take to the skies, they move out like overlords just as scouts. We throw down extra factories, wraiths are on the way, tanks are on the way. If you're out there, now is the time to put the kettle on, you know, start making some food. Start getting ready. We gonna be here for a while. Let's go. As from here, we do have Blue Flame. Blue Flame is on the way. Likewise, Banshee to catch out a tank. Nice catch. Nice catch at a cure. Ray said we'll shut this down, bearing in mind that, of course, speed does kick in, and Banshees, they should get away. Banshees, they pull out. And we be making it up. Now, from here, because it's cross spawns, I will imagine that our players will freely get their fourth bases. I can see our players freely building up their thirds, getting their fourths, and even getting a fifth base and taking and maintaining their corner of the map. Bearing in mind that Cure is not getting into battle mech. He did fixate on tanks, and okay, there we go. Now he's going into a more cyclone heavy composition. This will allow Cure to be active. So Cure, he will have the more mobile composition. I do favor Cure when it comes to head-on fights against vultures with a heavy cyclone start. So he's building up his cyclone count to be active. At the same time, ByuN is also building up his vulture count with spider mines and with ion thrusters. ByuN just ensuring, yep, there's no ninja base. No ninja expansion. And again, because the map is so large, like, there's no pushing power early on. Like, no shot. There's no way to push in. Now, when it comes to mid to late game TvT, typically the way this works here is that we're going to be building up into 4 bases, up to 5 bases, and then we'll be switching into mass BC. Usually it's going to be BC Raven from Cure, and then it'll be BC out of ByuN. Like BC like Valkyrie. It eventually all takes to the skies. Like that's usually the direction. And you can already see it here, Raven production. Like Raven's already amassing, double Starport, mass Raven. Cure, he's already working on that heavier Raven count, which is more efficient. I don't make food in a kettle. Oh, no. Ah, no. Not like this. Cure breaks in. Catching out a couple of Marines. And the Goliaths are coming online. Coming online. Again, a lot of this will come down to the Battle of the Skies, the Battle of Air Control. As we're shooting a mass Cyclone Widowmine, actually. Okay. Interesting. You don't often see Cyclone Mine, of all things. Marines are cleaned up. They were just marauding for some Marines. We have Vultures being active, setting up their spider mines. Who catches who?
Research.
As again, we do have ship weapons on the way. Likewise, more Ravens. We're waiting for the fusion core. That's going to be the big tech switch. Oh, it's going to be the big switch. As Vultures, they try to make their way into the mineral line. He tried to. Spider-Mans are being cleaned up. Vultures have to get the hell out of here. Oh, getting caught out. Brutal losses there for ByuN. Does get caught, cleans up the rest of the mines. ByuN is being active. He's at least trying to be with his Vultures, going for a second harassing wave. Planetary is done, so Vultures, they cannot move in. But he's setting up a bunch of mines. Their potential. They do have potential here. Oh, he commits. He commits in. He'll lose every single Vulture. He does get a couple of SCVs. SCV 7 SCVs going down. 9 SCV kills, but he will lose every single vulture. 10 SCVs towards the end. Curie does spot the mines. Again, the power of the Raven. He sees everything. How many Ravens do we have so far? We have 6 Ravens. That's okay. We're about to have 8. Again, Mass Raven is kind of the go-to. Run all the Ravens. They do everything. They got auto turrets. They got disables. They can armor shred. The Mass Wraith to try to counteract that. There's our first disable. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 disables, and you can see Crew just dominate this fight, bullying back ByuN. Losing so many tanks, so we just keep going. We just keep on going here, and this is why you want to build out that Raven count in TvT. That's why the Ravens are so good. ByuN needs time to counterattack. ByuN, he will drag the entire army back home, so ByuN is buying time. He's buying time. As he does get into the mineral line, going for more SCV kills. And Curie's done chasing. He's done chasing. This also allowed Curie to regather energy and regenerate energy on those Ravens. So now he can disable once again. And now he's pushing. Now he's pushing out. Now we can see ByuN, he does react quite hard to this. He's making nothing but Goliaths. He's making 6 Goliaths at a time. But what this does mean is his tank count is now much smaller. Much smaller here. Curie, he's maxed out. We got a solid siege line here in the center. Wraiths are spotted. Cyclones, they respond. Cyclones, they try to respond. No fusion core yet, I believe. Yeah, no fusion core. For either player. ByuN, he's rebuilt his army. Again, very Goliath heavy. Very Goliath heavy. And he's pushing quite deep in. Curie doesn't see this. He does. Yeah, now he does. Does spot the army. Curie's out of position. How many Ravens? We have 10. Okay, 10 Ravens. Disable's going to be coming in. And he disables every single tank. Here comes the mass surround. Oh my god. Yeah, collapsing on ByuN. These tanks, they will go down. Disable might run out just barely. Nah, not even. Yeah, Disable runs out, but we only have 2 tanks left. Down to 1, down to 0. Yeah, mass around. ByuN, he plummets in supply. He does plummet. Shout out to the voice lines in the chat. True. And Curie's still maxed, by the way. Curie's still maxed out. Now, the one thing keeping Curie back is lack of energy. He has to just wait for the energy to regenerate, and then you just go again. That's the one thing holding him back. Does catch out a couple of vultures. Army collapsing in. And ByuN again, he's scrambling to rebuild his army. Now you can see that ByuN, he's not making Goliaths anymore. He's switching into Mass Vulture Tank. He's switching into just Mass Vulture Tank instead. No more Goliaths. He's like, you know what? It's just not worth it. It isn't, right? Unfortunately, the burst damage of the Goliath is not enough to stop the disables. Like, even if they kill the Ravens, what's important is that they land the disables. The interference matrix. So we do catch out another 2 tanks. Oh, shout out to the high ground tanks. Oof. Curie inattentive. Yeah, Curie's being inattentive here. Barely out of range though. Takes down 2 more tanks. Cyclones are coming from behind. The mass Cyclones back. True. And they just hug. Yeah, they just hug the tanks. Do get cleaned up. Planetary did still go down, so it was a rough reaction there from Cura, was delayed. And ByuN is rebuilt. And the reasoning for this, we spoke about this earlier, and why we expected a long game on Vermeer. Because it's cross spawns, it takes so long to get across the map. It takes so long. By the time Cure does get across the map, ByuN is rebuilt. ByuN, he has rebuilt. Again, just longer rush distance, longer spawn location. Oof. But massive armor shred, cashing out every single vulture. Oh my god. Yeah, vultures get caught. Tank as well. Do we keep going? We do. Yeah, just mass disables here. Disables everything. Ay, ay, ay. We have more disables left over. Once again, ByuN, he'll just get completely annihilated. GG gets called, and Cure, he will take a 2-0 lead, sorry, 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Cure dominating those fights, going for just a traditional type of composition here, just going into mech, going into heavy Raven. That is typically how you approach TvT in StarCraft 2. ByuN, he was stuck with a really weird composition, and I'll be honest, it looked like ByuN didn't really know what to make. We didn't really get to touch on it. But from my understanding, seeing players like Holmono, seeing players like ByuN, who are more well-versed in StarCraft Evolution, we have been seeing a lot more, instead of pure mech, going Ghost Mech. Ghost Mech does have a stronger place amongst the Brood War Terran TvT kind of scene, and what the Ghosts do add to the composition here is Lockdown. Lockdown is like the equivalent to Disable, right? It's the Brood War Disable, essentially. And having your own Ghosts and having your own Lockdowns is pretty crucial, I feel, when it comes to dealing with that sort of style. Otherwise, the other answer is Valkyries. Getting into Valkyries, getting to a stronger form of anti-air to help deal with your opponent's Ravens. Obviously, there's no Viking, right? There's no Viking, and Wraiths are a little bit iffy when it comes to what they bring to the table, of course. But having a couple of supporting Valkyries to zone away those Ravens can also go a long way as well. Instead, we saw that ByuN, he was kind of like fixated on his ground composition. For a while, he went Mass Goliath, that didn't work, and then went into Mass Vulture, that didn't work. Like to me, it looked like ByuN hasn't been in that situation too often, which is understandable. You don't often play a lot of late game TvT in StarCraft Evolution, but GG. GG, well played. With that, ByuN, sorry, Cure, he will take a 2-1 lead, and he's one game away from claiming the series. Up next, we're loading into Holy World. It's for the first time tonight. For the first time, I do appreciate it. One of my more favorite maps in this map pool. I still miss some of the others though. I still miss my Troy, for example. Neo Eyes of Siren, true. I'm thinking of another one, another blue one. But let's go. Let us go as we're getting into our next matchup. As we are loading into Holy World and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Holy World, we have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the SC, also we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the Team Liquid Terran. It is Cure. Here we go. Cure forced to play Brood War Terran instead, and ByuN should be feeling a little bit more comfortable here. True. Should be feeling more comfortable. Does open up, and welcome to Holy World. Holy World is one of the more unusual maps in the map pool. It's quirky, it's crazy. You can have four spawn locations. We have top right, top left, bottom left, and a bottom right as well. We have 4 possible spawn locations. We see ByuN, he knows that Cure is not bottom left at least, and Cure is also aware that ByuN is not top right. So they have eliminated one of the spawn locations. Otherwise, we're opening up. But when it comes to Holy World, welcome to a low ground main. This is very rare, and this is never seen in StarCraft 2. As you can see here, we have high ground surrounding the main base. This does mean that drop play and counterattacks of such nature are actually quite strong. To go for like drop play, dream drops coming from behind. There are multiple entrances into the main base as well, to the back side, to the top side as well. These rocks can be knocked down for 3 different entrances into said main. Now, what do you have to help counteract this? You have the high ground natural base here on the left hand side. You have a pocket third base, and you have a pseudo pocket fourth base, which is exposed to the elements, to the rest of the map. So you have your own little corner of the map where you have your 4 bases. But again, there are certain quirks to them. There are some strengths, there are some weaknesses, of course, as well. Likewise, we have the center of the map. We have a neutral CC in the center, which can be used to, I guess, infest for Zerg matchups. And we also have some neutral disruption webs. We have a disruption webs. I'll be honest, these webs don't often come into play. The issue I would say with this map is that because the center is so open, it's pretty easy to avoid this. I would say that usually I would petition for either larger disruption webs or more choke points that actually kind of force these webs to be actually utilized, because it's a really cool feature. It's never used though. Like it's typically fights they're able to avoid them quite easily because there's just so much room to traverse. For those that are curious, disruption webs, they're like blinding clouds. Think of like neutral, permanent blinding clouds. That is how they operate. But like, especially after like judging a couple of seasons of TLMC, like looking at this, like there are definitely some glaring issues that can be improved upon here for Holy World, for sure. But does want to keep the spirit of the original map alive, of course. From here, we are going for our initial... Jesus, double star. Okay, Cure, we got some build. Oh, you get scanned. This is a one base all in, by the way. One base all in, going double starport mass wraith. Cure is clowning, and he gets scouted. ByuN back at home, going for a standard opener into his own 2-1-1. Oh, sorry, into his own 1-1-1. And now, because he's aware, Cyclones. Marines are amassing Cyclones as well. And I'll be honest, I don't really see this working out too well here. Cure, he's just throwing whatever he can at the wall. Again, he's very inexperienced when it comes to Brood War, so he's just doing whatever. And it's a crazy build. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. It's just one base mass wraith. Marines, they hold their own. Cyclone has arrived. Ideally, ByuN wants to lure the army in. There's a lock-on. And thankfully, lock-on is broken. But the rates are very low. And behind this, Cure goes for a very delayed expansion. So late expansion, late economy. And maybe if there are some Brood War aficionados in the chat, maybe you can let us know if this is a thing that like one base 2-port Wraith is a thing that is seen in Brood War. Like, guys, it looks crazy. It looks crazy. And so far, it's not been worth it. So far, basically 0 damage has been dealt. Wraith is turned away. Now, what I can see here, especially with a heavy Wraith count, is potentially even maintaining this Wraith count and having this counter the Ravens. Like this can potentially counter the Ravens, of course, and go for dives and shut them down ahead of time. So this might actually do well coming into the mid game, maybe. Like there's potential if they can snipe these Ravens, then sure. Do I believe? Bearing in mind the Wraiths, they have some decent anti-air. It's mainly the burst damage, like mainly single target, as opposed to the Valkyrie. And again, their targets should be these Ravens. Let's go. I mean, economic damage is nice as well, I suppose, but... As ByuN, he's breaking out. He's getting access to his own pocket expansion. Wraiths are stacking. They cloak. More or less. And does find a Cyclone. Gets one. Takes on one Cyclone. Cashing in at CV. I'm sure he's tempted to dive on the Ravens. And he will delay the CC. Not bad. Does delay. Delays a command center. Also, something that's quite lucky here for Cure is because it's cross spawn on a 4-player spawn map, just like on Vermeer, the counterattacks take so long. Like, the counterattacks take so long here, so ByuN, he can't really move out. He can't really punish, but ooh, does catch one of the Wraiths. Crazy lock on. Crazy lock on. Racer come back in. It is how many in total? 9. 9 wraiths. Behind this, we're switching to mech. So mech is on the way for both players once again. So it's going to be mech versus mech. Also on another 4-player small map. Also on cross spawns. Like, just like last time, strap yourselves in. But I will say that this is a much more quirky setup here, right? It's like the mass wraith, and we're still making more, by the way. We're still making more wraiths. Like, this is an interesting approach here by Cure. This is more interesting than last time. Like, last time it felt like ByuN, when he was stuck with Brood War Terran, he didn't really know what to do. Here, Cure, he has a plan. Whether it works or not, we've yet to see. But like, this is very intentional. Like, at least to me, it feels clear that he wants to fight for air control as hard as possible. Speaking of, ByuN likewise does respond with a Mass Viking. So it's just a very different composition. Remember, last game on Vermeer, it was very tank heavy from both sides. Here it's very air heavy, right? With Mass Wraith, with Raven Viking, and with Liberator. Sorry, with Cyclone as well. It's a very different type of TvT. Cure, I should say, has forced a different type of TvT. Let's break in. Oh, Jesus. Fused away the gas geyser. Damn, 3 volleys. Alright, hey, that's 11 wraiths. Takes down the CV, takes down the gas. Behind this, building up his tank count, of course. But Cure, it's definitely interesting. It's an intriguing, it's a unique approach. Very unique. Will it work? I can't really say. Ooh. I'm sure it was tempted. We have some nicely placed turrets. There's a scan. Spotting the army. Third base gets up and running. 2 more starports. Mass Viking. I'll be honest, I do think given time, ByuN wins the battle with this guy. The issue here is that we have not just Mass Viking that's building up here, Mass Viking, Mass Cyclone, there's so much anti-air, but also Armor Shred. Like, the Ravens also do add quite a bit of support when it comes to these air battles. So I'll be honest, I'm not very convinced here about what Cure is up to. It looks like he wants to go for a ground switch. This could work. There's a world where if ByuN overcommits into Mass Viking, and if he overcommits into Cyclone, because right now he has 0 tanks. He has, in a head-on fight, Cure does have a stronger ground force. That is true. Or he's working on one. So is ByuN getting baited?
Research complete.
Cyclone's going to be zoned away. Scan reveals the wraiths. Like, I'll be honest, seeing this kind of army here, I feel like ByuN, he needs to switch into tank soon. We gotta switch it up. Army gets turned away. Oof. Welcome one of the wraiths, welcome one of the tanks as well. Do you have a couple of science vessels? What can they add here to the fight? They can add their defense matrix, they can also EMP. True. There's a world where they can EMP all the Ravens. Not wrong. It's still just very tense. Still very tense. Tanks are slowly pushing forward, just ensuring that they can cover each other. Cyclone's coming in. Nice disables. EMP doesn't land. Oof, yeah, you can see the EMPs being sent out. You can see their projectiles and they do not connect. I think that was it. Yeah, only 2 vessels. Only 2 vessels, only 2 EMPs. No EMPs available. We got 2 more vessels on the way. So this fight, it'll come down to the EMPs landing or not. And then the tank positioning. Ah, buenas noches, my buenas noches. Buenas noches. As ByuN tempted. Liberation has arrived, true. Goes Liberators. Catching out 1, 2 of the tanks. Two tanks to go down. More Liberators moving in. So moving out to harass. Oh, one of the Ravens does get caught out. Okay. Catching out one Raven. Array say to distract. Kira taking another expansion. Oh, the race! They're getting caught! Oh my god, they get caught out and the base gets spotted. Yeah, mass auto turret, CC will fall, massive pickup. That's gonna be 14 dead SCVs. And Race is still being hunted down. Oh no! Oof. Yeah, we'll lose all the Wraiths. Being completely cleaned up. And I'll be honest, I don't really see Cure winning the battle in the sky. Once again, they're still heavily reliant on his EMPs. But the projectile is so much easier to avoid, to be honest. So much easier. Oof. Destruction Web coming into play, actually. Did punish Cure. ByuN within range. Going for the backstab, coming in from behind. And he will pick up a couple of tanks. Not the cleanest trade here from ByuN. Yeah, ByuN gets shut down. Oh, let's go! The Defense Matrix! Q moves! Q moves back here. Oof. Still gonna push in. We still have a siege line waiting for him. And Q rotates here. Rotates here towards the south, towards the top side. Catching out more tanks. Catching out one tank at a time. Nice pickups. Some decent pickups here. Here he's gaining some ground. It is 16 Goliaths. I'm still not convinced by going Goliath with this kind of army, but sure. Like, I'm still not convinced that's going to really deter the Ravens. But he's going for it. And once again, he commits in. The mass defense matrix, okay. Breaks through the first line of tanks. Just the one though. Again, like, ByuN's done a great job at spreading out his tanks. They're very spread out. That was a big use of defense matrix. That wasn't quite worth it. Mass disable. EMP doesn't quite land. Once again, ByuN does rotate. Rotates over, does break through some of the tanks. EMP does graze some of the Ravens. By some, I mean like 1 or 2. Oh. Forcing an awkward siege. Curie does peel off in towards the bases. We got the Mass Goliath counterattack. Let's go. I don't think they can kill the planetary, but they can harass the mineral land at least. Likewise, tank harass as well. They find some damage. CC would even just go down. Jesus. The power of 2 tanks. Yeah, Curie's out of position. There's a lot to micromanage here when it comes to like tank positioning, your science vessels, your harassing force. This ByuN is unable to mine. Bearing in mind that ByuN, he's still mass expanding. He does have top right, taking more bases. ByuN gets within range. Takes out 2 more tanks. Ooh, doesn't land. Actually, better EMP here, catching up most of the Ravens. You can see. Yeah, most Ravens get caught. There's what, 2 Ravens left with energy. That was a massive EMP. Cure. Now's the time. He scans. He does spot the army. Again, only 2 Ravens with energy. That was an insane EMP. I like how the workers just working through. Like, there's nothing to stop them. I know. That's way too soon. As time goes on, the Ravens are regathering their energy. Building back up. Kira's still looking for a way in. Still looking. These bases are getting saturated. Kira, we gotta be active soon. Still only posturing. Raven energy's building back up. Yeah, Liberation has arrived. Now that air control, it's now reflected here in the Liberators. The Risen moving in. He's going for the knife. He goes for it. Yeah, massive defense matrix. He does commit. Chasing with the EMPs. It does graze. It does graze the army here. More defense matrix and tanks. They're going down one after the other. Nice breakout here from Cure. Breaks through the siege line. There's 1 tank left. It doesn't break through. Yeah, it doesn't get the final tank. ByuN, he does hold. And behind this, making 7 tanks at a time. So many more. Yeah, heavy losses here for Cure. Late reaction, late on siege. Oof. Cure's hurting. Overall, though, I do think that Cure, he had a better understanding of late game TvT than ByuN did from the Broodor side of things. I did like this dynamic a little more than what ByuN went for, which was just like mass tank Vulture and then mass tank Goliath, and then like it was just all over the place. I do think that going for the science vessels here had a little more weight to it, but still could never really fight for the skies, right? Like, still never went into Valkyries. Still was too Goliath heavy. The air control was so firmly in the grasp of ByuN, and that's all the TvT comes down to, is that air control. It's taking over the skies. Do Valkyries even get you out of this? Well, when it comes to the earlier dives, it's just a stronger way to punish the clumping here, because Valkyries do so much splash damage. So in a head-on fight against Vikings, if you've seen like TvT Viking versus Valkyrie, you don't even need that many. You need like 4 or 5 Valkyries. 4 or 5 Valkyries, and they punish the clumping so much. Like 5 Valkyries. Valkyries would murder the hell out of that air blob. They would. Here we go, mass auto turret, cleaning up the army. ByuN at this point, he's snowballing out of control. He's knocking down bases, defending back at home. And Curious falling apart. But again, as I mentioned, like, I do still think that Cure had a better composition than what ByuN had in the previous game. But it's still, like, they're still working on it. Like, they're still figuring it out. Again, like, Cure is very inexperienced when it comes to SC Evo. When it comes to late game TvT, same with ByuN. They're figuring it out. As all the vessels go down, lands on the army, and we're going to the ace match. Like, we're going to game 5. Mineral line goes down, the main army is broken. Cure, he does have some forces here on the top side. Gonna try to base trade or counterattack. Desperation here at a Cure. And Cure, he will take down these northern bases, that is true. But knock them down. But ByuN, he still has a standing force. He's still racing back home with his Ravens. Ravens will come back. What a splash damage for a volley per Valkyrie is quite a large radius. Can just evaporate entire armies. And then yeah, they do. They go crazy. I mean, Pure, he does take down 2 mineral lines. So that's going to be 29 SCVs going down. These bases will fall. But you can see that ByuN's just waiting for him. Like, ByuN, he's just waiting here at the entrance to this corner of the map. Because eventually, Cure, he has to go through this. He has to go through this choke point. So ByuN's just waiting, just chilling. As Cure is now trapped. The army's trapped, but he can't get out. He has to try it. He's going for it. He's looking for the dive. Not very nice EMP. Oh my god. ByuN, he clumped up. One EMP just shuts him down. Secure. He can now work towards breaking out. But here come the tanks. Yeah, here come the reinforcements. Like, Cure, he's still trapped. Not like this. Let's go. Does defense matrix. Moving into the siege line. Liberation zone is being set up as well. And GG. GG gets called. ByuN, he'll tap the series, and we're going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG. Well played. We are going to game 5 here. Again, we've experienced some very long, very late game TvT so far on our 4-player small maps. But where are we dropping for game 5? Where are we dropping? Do we have another larger map, or do we calm things down? Calm things down. As we are building up. And game 5 is going to be on Karis Passage. Oh, okay. Interesting. We'll see how our players will approach this. I feel like typically aggression is favored on this map, but the direction of these last couple of games here have been very heavy mech versus mech, so we'll see if that trend continues here as they load into one of the more smaller maps. I say smaller map, it's still a bit of a larger map, but there are definitely some aggressive tendencies. We'll get into it. We will get into it. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Karis Passage, we have the red Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And welcome on to Karis Passage. Karis Passage is an interesting map, and the map pool has a much more open and accessible natural, has a bit of a more secure third base. The fourth base is a little more spread out, a little more open, a little more difficult to maintain, as you have a reverse base in the center and more spread out expansions. Now, the more interesting part here is the top side. Top right side, we have two goal bases right next to each other. Likewise, two more goal bases here as well. So a lot of high yield expansions in the top corner of the map. Initially here, it's very choked up and very difficult to traverse, but these rocks can be knocked down and we can open this area up to allow for a more direct path across the map as well. We have a thin choke point here in the center. This is the main attack path early on, so this will deter hyper aggression. We have a more open attack path here towards the south side instead, with of course our more bases. Let's go. We'll see how we open up, as so far our ranks are back at home. No proxy, no cheese. Not this time. Honestly, hilariously, one of those specialized Brood War air versus air units really gets cut loose. For sure, that's typically why like certain air compositions are not really viable when it comes to late game, like StarCraft Evolution. Can struggle. I mean, it even works the opposite way as well for ZVZ. Muta versus Muta is non-existent because SC2 Zerg players can't get into Muta play because of the Scourge, right? Like, they'll be stuck with like Muta versus Muta Scourge, and Muta Scourge just excels so much. Not just that, but the opposing, the Brood War Muta also has extra range as well. So because the existence of Scourge, like in the ZVZ mirror matchup, like likewise, like Spire play is really accessible for the SC2 Zerg player. Isn't really viable. Here we go. From here, we're going to be going for our own 1-1-1. So we have our standard follow-up here by ByuN going for his own 1-1-1 setup. No crazy sim timing this time. Looks like we're going for the faster machine shop into faster ion thrusters into faster almost like Goliath, faster vulture play. In my minds. Actually, sorry, with a faster starport, what are we going for? Add on top? No. What? Okay. So we are going to be opening a Vulture, but we are going to be supporting with early Wraith play. Okay. So we have our Vultures, we have our Wraiths. Likewise, we have from Cure going for his own, the SC2 Zerg player going for his own later Starport play. Opening up. We have the Academy. The early Academy here is going to be for the Comsat Station. And this should lead in towards mech. So ByuN is meching it up. Cure going 1-1-1 into either early Raven or Banshee. Oh wait, no, we are getting into Sim. My apologies. I assumed this was going to be mech. Like, we're opening up Vulture, we're opening up Spider-Mine. But to go for a later Sim timing, this is interesting. Okay. Let him cook, baby. Let him cook. What do you have for us, ByuN? Again, he's like revealing mech here. He's revealing his Vultures. Scan also reveals the 1-1-1, reveals the machine shop of the factory. Remember, the Academy and the second racks are hidden. Third racks as well. This is very intentional. Very intentionally hidden here for ByuN. Wraith moves in. Wraith does distract. Does cause a distraction. More Spider-Mines being thrown down. Now, the one downside here is that Stim is actually going to finish quite early, but the Marine count isn't there. We have what? We have 4 Marines. Because of the initial 1-1-1, it means that the second and third racks are delayed, and it means the Marine production is heavily delayed as well. So it's a really cool build. It will be catching Cure off guard, but it does hit very late. which means there's more time for Cure to realize what's happening. As Cure is going into Reactor Liberator. Jesus, okay. Interesting. Going into Reactor Lib. Control towers in production. Building up more ByuN. Stim is now done. Now getting into U2-3HLs. And this feels like a big 2-base all in here for ByuN. Like, this is so committed here. There's so much just banking on this timing. Scan does not reveal much. Scan reveals still the 1-1-1. But this is suspicious, right? At this point, there should be extra factories. So, Cure, he realized something is wrong. In his mind, it could be a faster TC. Could be a bias switch. Could still be mech, but hidden factories elsewhere. But now, double armory, third TC, more factories. Cure's embracing his own mech. Science facility? Huh. Are we gonna hit with the science vessel? What's the plan? We're transitioning out of this. Second factory. Second factory's on the way. So ByuN, he's going for his push, but yeah, it's not all there. Liberator has arrived. A massive punish. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SCVs. Oh, almost. Out of vision. But ByuN, he turns everything back around. There it is. 6 SCV kills. 6 workers falling. Again, we invested so heavily into this. We invested into Stim, into into U2-3HLs, into +1 attack, and into all these Raxes and the Academy and the eBay, everything. Second Liberator arrives. ByuN is stuck with his army. And we gotta go. But at this point, I'm not entirely convinced. I mean, at this point, he's expanding, right? He's not convinced either. He's expanding. Second factory, mass tank production. At this point, we're trying to transition out of the buyer. We opened up 1-1-1, then we went for a buyer switch, now back into a mech switch. It's very messy here from ByuN. And he's pushing into this. We already have a siege line. Stim's in. Tries to send one forward. But Cure, he will not be broken. It's got a massive wall of tanks. And ByuN is stuck with a subpar army. He's still getting to +2. Okay. Interesting. ByuN is getting to +2. Still, I mean, he has to make Marines because what else is he going to do? What else can he make? But the only thing that Marines give you in this kind of position is dive potential, right? You can stim in and you can dive. Tanks on siege? Never mind. Never mind. I love the sound of the hydraulics from the Broodor tank, by the way. It's so good. As ByuN does set up behind the gas geysers. Disable interference matrix is researched. Cure, he can soon break out. Here comes EP. Oh, can't land it. Oh, doesn't quite go for it. Wait, it has to be researched? Oh, that is brutal. Yeah, that is brutal. EMP has to be researched. It wasn't ready yet. 10 seconds away. Almost ready. 4 more seconds. ByuN rotates to the left hand side. He can now EMP. Tanks to siege. Here comes the dive. Here he gets 1, he gets 2. Get 2 disables, 3 disables even. And tanks are trying to hold their own. Liberation has arrived. And ByuN needs to get the hell out of here. He has to pull away. As more liberators are amassing, we have 4 starports in production for ByuN. Jeez. It's getting 4 starports. He's begun race production. Kira's breaking out, Kira has momentum, and ByuN's in trouble. Oof. Okay, nice tank shots. Nice tank volleys. ByuN has to pull away. Pulls away, he rotates. Rotates to the top side. Oof. Catching another tank. At this point, we're just waiting for Q to max out. Just waiting for his max outs. We do see that ByuN, his reaction here is to go into Mass Wraith. I mean, it's a way to battle for the skies. I'm not entirely convinced. Like, Wraiths, they're okay. I believe they have less range than the Viking, but they have a lot of burst damage available. I'm not convinced, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, we'll see. As Curious still building up his Viking Liberator. Securing more bases. Cure, he's now maxed out. Still maxed, and we've built up to how many? Up to 12. Soon to be, Jesus, 16. 16 rates. That's a lot of rates. And again, they have some potential here when it comes to diving in and trying to focus on the Ravens at least. The potential. Speaking of. Yeah, here comes the Mass Cloak. They do zone back the Vikings. Get zoned away, and there's no Cyclone behind this even. Okay, nice dive. Yeah, nice dive. Does reset the Viking count. But again, has to respect the rest of the army. Oof. It does have to respect it. Armor shred on the rates. As you mentioned, rates that have some dive potential, that is true, but now he's aware. Now Cure's aware, now he's making more Vikings. Second starport. Fourth starport even. So that first kind of revelation of the race, that was kind of like, that was it. Like, that was the first big surprise factor. As Cure had no idea. Now he does. Army rotates to the left-hand side. Does spot those 3 tanks. He sims in. He sims in. It's going to take a while here, but he does get 1. Does get 2. Does take a lot of tank shots to the face. Takes down 3 tanks. That's okay. Still bleeds out a lot in the process. 2 tanks get thrown away. Race very mobile. Okay, nice counterattack. And this is what we've been waiting for. We have Mass BC on the way. Let's go. It's getting into battle cruisers. This is what we wanted in the previous game. Give us some BCs. Oh. We'll see if we can make that far. Like, the issue here is that due to the Mass Wraith, like, he's already forcing Cure to respond with Mass Viking, right? Like, Cure, he's already being, like, lured into Mass Anti-Air with Vikings, with Thors, so he will already have a force to work with against the BCs. He may not be aware of them, but he's already getting ready for Anti-Air. The Sky Terran. Nice big us here. Once again, he rotates. Catching out 1, 2, 3 Liberators. Very nice. Nice rotation. Yamato's on the way. Yamato's being researched. He's about to become operational, Pappy. True, true. He's getting there. Again, so far the race has been worth it. Like, I was a little bit concerned, assuming that it was mainly going to be to dive in to deal with the Ravens, but no, like, they've been very mobile. Poking in, getting like a tank here and there, a gas geyser here and there. It's been keeping Cure busy, more importantly, right? Cure, he's been stuck rotating back and forth. He's been stuck at home. Despite being maxed out, Cure, he has not been able to push. Does ever extend, rotating once again. Does rotate over. He's banking up so far 6 BCs, soon to be 8. 8 battle cruisers. They're all banking up. Meanwhile, we have Cure getting into his own BCs. Fusion core is done. Yamato is also on the way. Can we get to BC versus BC? Can we get there? Scan. Oh, the scan did reveal, by the way. Yeah, scan did reveal all the battle cruisers. Now, battlecruisers, they're great and all, but you know what's even better than BC? Disable. Interference Matrix. Like that. Ravens, they can shut down battlecruisers. I mean, they can shut everything down. Wraiths, they get caught out. Wraith count is reset. There are 0 Wraiths left, so no more Wraiths. Oh. There are still a couple of EMPs that remaining here on the science vessels. True. Still a couple of EMPs. And we have how many? We have 9, soon to be 11. 11 BCs. I mean, the BC count is getting quite healthy. And we're just killing our own. Yeah, we're just at this point the Marines are dead supply, so we're just killing our own Marines. Feels Marine, man. Yeah, he's just gonna throw them away. Yo, let's go. I was gonna say that's cleanse, restoration, that's it. I was looking for the word. But that's the medic debuff or medic cleanse, where you can actually remove, I believe you can remove disables. So bam, you can have the Raven come in and disable units, and then bam, the medic can remove that. If I'm not mistaken. Oh, we're just gonna throw them away, okay. Never mind. Remove the medics. Oh, we finally have some Valkyries. They're coming. The Valkyries. Let's go. We finally got there. He found the Valkyrie key. Let's go. Ooh, speaking of the best disables. Yeah, catching out the BCs, and there are no medics. Yeah, no medics to restore. Valkyries, they will force his own way. They try to at least. Oof. Yeah, they do force the spread. Valkyries, they zone away. And how many BCs just went down? That was 3. 3 battle cruisers go caught. There are how many left? 8. 8 remaining. This all comes down to the air battle. It comes down to the EMPs from ByuN. It comes down to the disables from Cure. As we mentioned, despite researching restoration, there are no medics, so that's not going to factor in. And show us those EMPs. Science vessels pushing forward. Speaking of, oh, lands 1. Oh, but the vessels will get caught out. Oh, Jesus. Look at the Vikings. The Vikings, they just evaporate. And this is a show earlier. There were some people in the chat that were like, yo, are Valkyries even that good? Yo, Valkyries, they punish the Vikings so hard when they clump. Insane volleys. Ay, ay, ay. That was 2 volleys, by the way. That was... Yo, Cure, he's like, yo, that's crazy. I should have made them last game. He's like, it's like, what the hell? What is this unit? ByuN, he himself, he's like, oh my god, this is crazy. Why didn't I make this last time? Both in my mind, they're both in awe. Both ByuN and Cure. Like, yeah, that's crazy. BCs are moving in. Valkyries not in position. The BCs are getting called out. Oh no, where are the Valkyries? Yeah, there's no support. No support. Okay, Valkyries now moving in. But again, the BCs, they cannot help. Valkyries, they get focused down. And again, just out of position here for ByuN. ByuN was too far forward with those battle cruisers. Too far forward. Losing 1, 2, 3 BCs. Losing almost everything. And he can't get away. He's being chased down. And Cure, he should just keep pushing. He should just... there's no reason to stop. No reason to stop. Oof. Yamato cannon's popping up. We got Thor's back. We keep going. We gotta keep going. As Cure is pushing. We see ByuN is still making 5 battle cruisers at a time. Armor shred, nice control. Does avoid the splash damage. Oh, we're going for the mind switch. Let's go. We're going for the mind switch. We can set up a trap. The goal here, set up all the widow mines and try to lure the Valkyries in, or just everything in. Yamato's going up for the Thors. Ooh, anti-armor missile does connect. And Vikings, they do focus down. Yeah, Master Sables once again. The BCs, they just can't engage the Master Sable. He's doing it. Oh my god. Valkyrie volleys, they do soften up. But again, pure BC does nothing when everything is disabled like this. The Raven, pappy. This is why we need science vessels. We need EMPs. Without EMPs, what is the counter? Oof. Now once again pushing forward. Ravens are low. Ravens, they finally go down. True. Ravens do fall. But there's still too many Vikings left over. Oh my god, spoke too soon. The Valkyrie shots. Oh my god. Valkyrie shots, they punish. Very close. Very close fight here. In the end, I believe the BC does come out on top. Cleans up the army. ByuN is holding the 1 battle cruiser. He's holding on. He does really hold on. Bearing in mind that I still do favor Cure, the big deciding factor I would say is the gas bank. Cure, he has a gas bank. If you look at ByuN, he has no gas. ByuN has 100 gas in the bank. ByuN is broke. ByuN, he's broke. He's out of money. He needs to prioritize his gas mining. Yeah, no gas is your top side either. He needs to saturate. As ByuN cannot rebuild. ByuN has been holding on, of course. He's been taking some better fights. But ByuN, he's broke. He's broke. And Cure is remaxing. He's remaxing, rebuilding. Ooh, massive heli run by. Gets into the mineral line. Roasts up the SCVs. Speaking of no economy, I mean, even less so now. Even less so. Helize busts into the mineral line. ByuN is making marines because that's all he can spend. Like, he only has minerals. Oh my god. The mine shots! Oh my god, the friendly fire! Everything dies. The Vikings and the Valkyries. Crazy mine connections. But in the end, Cure, he still overwhelms. Again, Cure, he still has an economy, he has production, and Cure has done it. He has done it. An intense back and forth going all the way to the ace match. You saw a lot of late game, a lot of different variations of late game as well, I will say, with different compositions. It did feel like both Cure and ByuN were exploring what StarCraft Evolution has to offer in the late game for TvT, both having their own kind of direction, their own paths. And I feel like we all learned something here. As again, Cure, he has broken the main army. The mass widow mines, baby. Let's go. We're scuttling in. Oh, baiting out the mine shots. Let's go. As center expansion goes down. Cure, he's max. ByuN racing on over. And he does have a standing army. But, god. Yeah, the Matrix, too good. Widow mines, they push forward, they burrow. They burrow the army. They try to get their shots off. Yeah, a little bit messy here from Cure. Yeah, a little bit messy. BC still goes down. There's one battlecruiser left. We can just give chase. Like continuing to chase him down. GG gets called, and Cure, he will claim the series 3-2. Advancing on and becoming this week's StarCraft Evolution League champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Cure. He will claim the series. A very intense back and forth. Again, different forms, different variations of late game TvT. As it did feel like both ByuN and Cure, both ByuN and Cure were exploring it on Vermeer, on Holy World, and here as well on Karis Passage. Did feel like they were all kind of exploring it in their own ways, figuring out what works, what doesn't work, how these matchups do unfold against each other. And in the end, Cure did come out on top. It did take a while for Valkyries to finally hit the field and finally come into play, but by then it was too little too late in the series and in the game as well. But GG well played, made for a very fun dynamic, very fun back and forth. We finally got some late games. It's been months, Fab. It's been months. We finally got some late game in SC Evo. GG well played. Congratulations to Cure, especially because this is Cure's first time competing in StarCraft Evolution League. It's his first time competing, first time playing, and he comes out on top with a win. GG well played. I say first time. I think Cure has played in one SC Evo tournament before this, but again, he's very inexperienced when it comes to StarCraft Evolution. But he made it through. Did make it through. GG well played. Congratulations to Cure. My condolences to ByuN as he does get knocked out, but a very intense back and forth. And again, we got a bit of everything. Got a bit of everything there. We got cheese. We got late game, shorter games, longer games. GG. With that, congratulations. With that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the morning. Very long cast, 5 hours. 5-hour cast. Typically not a good idea on a GSL day, not gonna lie, as I most likely won't be able to get a nap in, or maybe won't be able to get some sleep. But here we go. Here is the rest of our schedule. We just wrapped up with our Thursday morning cast. We're going to be live in around 4 hours. In around 4 hours time with GSL. And GSL Day 2 Group B for the round of 12 is going to be later on tonight. Last night we were live with Group A. Tonight we're going to be live with Group B. So GSL will continue. Shout out to Soup. They've allowed us to have access to a clean feed to be able to live cast GSL. But we do live cast GSL over on Soup, not on Twitch. That's why you can see here there are 4 GSL broadcasts scheduled in. We have our live cast on Wednesday and Thursday, and then we have the Twitch rebroadcast on Saturday and Sunday. I say Twitch, YouTube. All the VOD content is going to be over the weekend, I should say. That's where the VODs are going to be showcased, but we have the live coverage over on Soup. Bear that in mind. If you want to help support GSL, you can do so via the command in the chat. I believe !GSL will give you a link to the Patreon for GSL. Again, a lot of content throughout the course of the week. It's a very intense period of StarCraft. We have GSL and RSL. Same week, non-stop StarCraft. Likewise, if you want to tune into our next broadcast, we have GSL later on tonight on Soup. We have the Thermal 2 circuit tomorrow in less than 24 hours. That'll be some 2v2 action as well. followed by Pickers Cups, and of course more GSL content. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. It's 3 p.m. It's 3 p.m. and I have not had breakfast. Like it was a long cast, pap. It was a long cast. I'm gonna go get some food. I'm gonna go not speak for another 4 hours and hopefully rest on my voice, because I'm straining my voice a little bit. So I'm gonna calm down, and we'll see you guys later on tonight for some GSL. Take care. Take care. We'll see you guys later tonight. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching and tuning in. You can also support us via our own Patreon as well, and via our own socials. If you see something you like here, if you cannot watch it live, check out the VODs on YouTube. Check out those VODs over on YouTube. They're there on a daily basis. Until then, see you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Hasta luego. See you next time.